Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Despicable Me video. Now for those of you who don't know what Ultra Foodmess is, which might be quite a few of you because this is a more under the radar game, it's a food-themed party game where you must win a variety of game modes. If you get to the number of wins required, you win the entire game. Speaking of the game modes, there are 11 of them, and I will be ranking them all today. My rankings will be based off how fun the game modes are, their difficulty, replayability, and their creativity plus concepts. I'll also be ranking this based off my experiences with bots, as I play this game mostly with them. Although I have still played the game with friends, though I'm not lonely, I have friends. And also just to know that these are all my opinion. And that's all I have to say for the intro, so let's get started with the video. 11. Exploding fruits. While this game mode isn't necessarily terrible, I'm not the biggest fan of it. In this mode, you will randomly spawn a bomb every 10 or so seconds, and when the bomb blows up, it can either kill a player or create a hole in the playing field to avoid. Whoever lasts the longest wins that round. I think the main issue with this round is that it's pretty hard to kill someone directly with a bomb, and even though you can knock the bomb into other people, it still usually doesn't work due to the bomb's small blast radius, and it's pretty risky since the bombs don't take too long to go off. So that just leads to you avoiding the holes, which are pretty easy to do, and by the time they get hard to avoid, you'll either have died, or the other bot/players will have died. Exploding fruits, in my opinion, is easily the least replayable and most boring game mode, and while I still do enjoy it from time to time, it's definitely my least favorite Ultra Foodmess game mode. Number 10. Catching up. For this game mode, you have to survive some superpowered ketchup from killing you. It rotates around the map, and the ketchup bottle that spews the ketchup can change its direction, be knocked around by players, and can be avoided by running away from it or hiding behind objects scattered across the map. It definitely has a really cool concept, but there's still some issues I have with it. My biggest issue is with the knockback mechanic. You see, in Ultra Foodmess, there's a knockback mechanic, where if you ram it into another player, you'll get knocked back. The more power you put into the ram, the more further you get knocked back. While this is an interesting mechanic that definitely elevates the gameplay, it's really annoying in this game mode because if you are the one getting knocked back, you are most likely dead, especially if it's later on in the round when the amount of ketchup is a lot faster. I've died so many times to this, and as I said, it's really annoying. I still enjoy catching up, but due to the knockback as well as not really that much replayability, I think this mode is just okay. Number 9. Organic Disposal. In Organic Disposal, you are on a treadmill with a bunch of giant food rolling down it, and have to avoid the giant food, as if you don't, you will get shredded by the sauce at the end. This mode can be fun, and it's pretty satisfying to win, but I will admit, this round might be a little too hard. I feel like the game speeds are way too quick, and it feels very all of a sudden when the food is flying down really fast. Either the speed should have been toned down a bit, or the speed should gradually rise over time before it gets crazy. Organic Disposal isn't bad, but it's a little too hard. Plus, the concept is the most original, but in this case, it's more of a nitpick than anything. 8. Hot Puddles. So basically, Hot Puddles is exploding fruits, but a lot better. Here, you must avoid this lava-like substance falling from the sky. It starts pretty easy at first, but eventually the puddles will start raining down faster and faster, and the puddles will even start locking onto other players, making this more intense. It's really fun, and it would be a lot higher. The bots are the reason why this is volatile. All the bots from this are solid, they do their job, and do their job good. They aren't the best, and most of the time, when it comes to this mode, they're pretty dumb. They will either casually just walk into a puddle, or will stand in the corner doing nothing, and since the puddles lock onto players, they'll eventually die pretty quick. It's pretty hard to fully enjoy the mode when the bots are having an aneurysm. This mode is really good, it's just hard to enjoy it when the best way to fully experience it is to play with friends, or have a lucky situation where the bots don't suck. Number 7. What the Fork. The game mode What the Fork is definitely one of the best uses of the knockback mechanic. These forks tonight will be protruding at the edges of the playing field and will over time grow bigger. Eventually the utensils will even rotate around. This round would probably be kind of easy, but with knockback it makes things more challenging and interesting. Since you have limited room, you can't knock back people too far, so it leads to intense knockback fights, and it's pretty fun to watch and participate in. Even with this, the replayability in this round isn't that great and definitely holds this game mode back, but What the Fork is still a solid time. Number 6. Nice to Meet You. Nice to Meet You is a pretty interesting game mode, as you get spawned with a club attached to you, and you must kill your opponents from said club. And since you have the club attached to you instead of holding it, it means you have to be quick with your movements in order to attack your enemies and win. Also, when an enemy dies, it's pullable unattached and will float around the map, meaning you can still die from it, which is a neat feature. My only issue with the game mode is the club physics can be janky and not the most precise at times. Other than that, this is a pretty solid mode that I feel is great that has a great middle ground in this ranking. Number 5. Chop Chop. This mode is really fun. In Chop Chop, you must survive these saws of all sizes that come out of nowhere. Over time, more saws will be added to the frame. Things will get a lot more crazy. It's pretty thrilling to avoid the saws and plan to not die. The knockdown mechanic also makes Chop Chop more chaotic. And best of all, remember how hot puddles had that issue with the bots? Well, Chop Chop, that issue is practically gone. Although it still pops up occasionally, but definitely not as much as in hot puddles. Overall, Chop Chop is a fun survival experience that is pretty intense. We're also starting to get into the point of the video where I don't have many complaints to say about the game modes, so I'll just keep the ball rolling with 4. King of the Meal. In this competitive game mode, the crown will spawn somewhere on the playing field. Your goal is to hold on to it as long as you can. When a player bumps into you, however, the crown will teleport to another random spot on the map. We will keep going like this until one person has had the crown for long enough to be deemed the winner of that round. King of the Meal is pretty fun, and I'm also engaged to keep the crown for as long as possible. Plus, it's fun to shoot down opponents in this mode while having the crown. My only little complaint is that the round's pace can be a bit endearing due to the usually constant crown placement resetting. King of the Meal is definitely worth the spot in the top 5. Number 3, Shot Dog. Now, Shot Dog is a pretty epic game mode. For one, you wield a bazooka. Who doesn't love bazookas? But Shot Dog also has a cool concept. Now, to win, it's like most other game modes where you have to be the last one standing. But when your weapon's line of sight will detect the player, it will automatically shoot the bazooka, which I find pretty interesting. It leads to a chaotic freefall, and this mechanic, plus the use of a gun, makes Shot Dog stand out compared to all the Ultra Foodmess game modes. The only negative thing I'll have to say is the line of sight isn't the most accurate time, but that is more of a nitpick of mine. It isn't like that big of an issue. Number 2, Pepper to Die. Ken's food fights are pretty insane in Pepper to Die. In the spicy game mode, a pepper will spawn on the playing field, and whoever picks it up will have a limited amount of time to touch someone else. If they do, the player that got touched will explode and be out. But if they don't, then they will. This mode has a pretty neat risk and reward system, and has some of the most intense moments I've experienced in Ultra Foodmess. Plus, the juking out moments I talked about back in number 4, well, they apply greatly here. Overall, Pepper to Die is a fun take on hot potato that makes it one of the best game modes, but not the best. As my top pick is 1. Juice It Up. I'd say overall, Juice It Up is my favorite game mode in Ultra Foodmess. It's the most dynamic out of the modes, as you don't have to be the last one standing. I mean, I know like King of the Meal also applies to this, but I feel like Juice It Up is a little more dynamic than King of the Meal. Now for this mode, you leave a trail of color behind you as you walk. Your goal is to cover the playing field with as much as your color as possible. And if you successfully do this, you win the round. Jars will also spawn, and if you touch one, it will burst with your color, aiding you in victory. I find this game mode pretty fun, and it's filled with many exciting comebacks and intense moments. Plus, it's filled with many strategies to play out, and overall, I just find this one of the most fun, dynamic, and replayable out of all the Ultra Foodmess game modes. And after all that, those are my rankings of all the Ultra Foodmess game modes. Most of these game modes are really fun and exciting, which is why I like this game quite a bit. They lead to a pretty fun experience, especially in multiplayer. It's a shame that the game isn't talked about that much. I'm assuming most people that have watched this have played the game, but if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. The only platform no on is on Switch, since I own the game on my Switch, but the other game is probably on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. That's all I have to say for today's video. What are your thoughts on Ultra Foodmess game modes? And do you agree with my opinions? Let me know in the comments below. You can also like and sub to my channel. I mean, you don't have to, but it definitely helps a lot. Also, make sure to check out my other content and follow my Twitter. Links in the description. And take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!